I had 6 girls flake today for the show. 6 girls. Every single show we do, anywhere from 2 to 4, either no show or they just outright, usually they flake within a few hours before the show. Sorry, can't make it, blah, 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 blah. And gentlemen, this is what you're dealing with when you're dating too. So, and these are the women that you're supposed to marry. They can't even, till death do us part, and you can't even keep a commitment. By the way, these women will lie when they're, this girl, the OnlyFans girl who was in the thumbnail before, claimed her car broke down. I offered to pay for her Uber to the studio and back, and I told her she could be late too. Oh, I'm sorry. It's just, bro, just, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Hold on. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. This is not really an experience that women deal with when it comes to dating. Because when a guy goes through all the trouble of having to set up a date, picking the place, the time, he's probably initiated it. Most guys are not going to flake on you on a date. Whereas it's almost the rule as a guy to expect the girl to flake on you. And y'all typically don't give a lot of notice. Y'all flake an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours before. Sorry, I'm feeling extra toxic tonight because it was so stressful with these flakes. But like, I want to ask, have you guys ever flaked on a date? Be honest. I won't hate you. You flaked. What about?
Yes. The only time I flaked is when I should have said no in the first place. And I anxiously said yes to please it. And then I decided I really don't want to do this. And I flaked at the last minute. So yes, I have.
Yikes. Okay, what about you?
Maybe like a couple times. But I mean, I try not to because it's not a nice feeling.
Mm-hmm. Do you flake last minute when you do flake?
No. I do try to do it like maybe 2 days, 3 days in advance.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I try to make it respectful.
That's fair.
Yeah, if it's the same day, I'm going on that date.
Oh, okay. I'll give you a... Okay, all right. Hold on. That deserves a little...
Yes!
Okay.
Thanks.
What about you?
Hang on, is it still flaking if you have a real reason for...
You're still
canceling?
flaking, yes. I mean, what's the real reason?
Well, it was the day after my sister's wedding. So...
I mean, that's not really a thing.
It is a reason. Anyway, I flaked. Yeah.
One time you flaked?
No, a few.
I reckon Brazilians are not so flaky.
Well, we're not, generally speaking.
I think
but
Brazilians
it
keep to their plans.
But it happens.
Okay. What about you? Well, you said there was this one time where you shouldn't have agreed and...
Yeah, so I learned from that, and I just tell people very straight up, no.
Okay. What about you? Carmela? Soprano?
I feel like there's only one time where I can remember like actually flaking, and it was because I wasn't really... I also don't go on very many dates, but I wasn't really into this guy, and I didn't want to get ready, and then I think I FaceTimed him like 2 hours before, and then I said I wasn't feeling good. And then that was it. No, most times I like will not go on a date unless I want to go on it.
Wait, so 2 to 3 hours before were you feeling fine?
Mentally, no. Physically, yes.
Mentally, no. What does that mean?
I don't know. Sometimes I get like anxious before going on dates because I just don't want to go.
Okay.
But then most times I will go, but like, I don't know. I FaceTime this guy like a couple hours before, and then I decided I don't think he was like worth meeting in person because I don't think I like him, so I canceled.
Okay. Well, well, first off, I appreciate the honesty on your answer. So you FaceTimed him before the date, mm-hmm. and then your assessment of him changed because was it his appearance? Was it just the conversation that you guys were having?
I want to say it was the conversation, because if I don't get along with someone, or like you can't like, there's no banter or anything, mm-hmm. like if you're not on the same wavelength, it's gonna be an awkward dinner or drink or wherever you go.
Well, I think, okay, so I think in some ways you did him a favor because you, Dank Naked, thank you for the membership. Appreciate it. Go ahead, Carson, pull it up. I think you did him a favor because you had the conversation. It wasn't like you were flaking, but you would have maybe still gone on a date with him. You assessed that you had no more interest in him. So in some ways you were actually saving both of yourselves some time, it sounds like. Mm-hmm. So I certainly credit you there. I guess the big qualm with flaking is if, for example, if you had not had that FaceTime and you're just like, I'm just kind of, something better came up. That's often when flaking will occur. A better option comes along, either a guy or a better plan comes along, or you're just like, oh, I'm kind of tired today. I don't want to go. Like, so that's a major frustration for a lot of men because oftentimes when a girl does cancel, it's like 2 hours before you're supposed to meet. And I don't know about, as a guy, it's pretty difficult on a Friday night at 4, let's say you're supposed to meet at 7 p.m. on a Friday night. Your Friday night is over as a guy. Mm-hmm. You're not getting another date on a Friday at 5 p.m. A girl, however, you can get another guy lined up very quickly on a Friday at 5 p.m. That's why I think women just flake so willy-nilly, because they just think their experience is men's experience and that, oh, he'll just get another girl. Whereas most men, like, you've just ruined his, well, not ruined his Friday, but he no longer has a plan. He cannot find a replacement as quickly as a woman could find a replacement.
Why do you think the woman is going on another date?
Women do that all the time.
I feel like in this case, it's usually not because she has another date. It's because she doesn't want to go.
Well, I mean, there's a variety of reasons why someone might flake, but okay, it could be that a better guy came along. It could be that a better plan came along. Mm-hmm. So, for example, he's going to take her to a dinner. She gets an invite to go on a yacht. She's not going on that dinner date. Right. She's going on the yacht. Or she's just like, oh, I've got a bit of a headache. I'm just, go ahead. You wanted to come in?
I need to say something about this.
Sure.
A lot of the times a woman will cancel the date because, well, that's my case. I feel that I can't give everything that I have to that person on that day. So if I'm having a bad day, if I'm not feeling good, what's the point of me going and meet a person for the first time and have a shit date? Like, it's not about having other person or anything like that. It's about me not being in the right mindset in the first place. So.
Okay. By the way, just thank you, Marina, for the membership. Appreciate it, man. Well, I'm just. Do you really need to bring all that much on the first date?
Absolutely.
Yes.
If you care about it, yeah.
Because it would seem to me that most men's experience is the burden of performance is on us on a date. Does that make sense? Okay,
yes.
let me explain a little bit. My experience with dating is if I did not carry the conversation in almost every single date I've ever been on, like let's say I did what I think girls do on dates, it would be dead silent. Like literally, if I did what girls do and just showed up and just said nothing, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just dating the wrong women, but I've dated a lot of women, and a lot of women are incapable of leading and carrying a conversation.
You're choosing the wrong women.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels to me like that's the perspective of you've only like dated and seen women that don't do any work during sex. There's a lot of women that like to get on top and get down.
Well, I wasn't talking about
sex.
No,
I know, but I'm giving it from that's the point of view. Like most of the time, woman that has fun and does work and that is also someone who doesn't just sit there in a date, actually cares about putting in energy. I think that's the perspective that she's coming from. Sure, there are probably women that just do nothing, but I
Sure. That's fair. So I want to ask the chat this. Yo, chat. If you were to stay silent, like if you kind of waited for the girl to say stuff on the first date, would it just be dead silent? Would there be awkward silences? One in the chat, if you were silent in the same way that women can be silent on a date, would you say it would just be awkward silence? Or do you think the girl would actually carry the conversation? I don't know.
I think it's a two-way street. It's a team effort. If any one of the people is completely silent, it's probably going to turn someone off if they're looking for good conversation.
Okay, so I don't know how we got to the whole like on the first date thing. We were talking about flaking. I'm being extra toxic tonight. I'm just upset with all the flakes. They lie too about it. It's just frustrating. Here's the experience I've had. We've had multiple girls flake on the show too. This is outside the context of dating. They'll say, "Oh, I have a test to study for." I look at their Instagram later that night on a boat. Just, I don't know. People can't keep their commitments. Because for me personally, if I make a plan with a girl for a date, for example, and let's say some fucking Victoria's Secret model comes up. She's like, "Brian, I want you to have an orgy with me and my 5 Victoria's Secret models." As a man of principle,
Right.
I'm going on that date with that nerdy librarian.
Sure.
I'm keeping it. I'm keeping my word. I'm sorry, Adriana Lima. Go do your whatever the fuck you're doing with your degenerate orgy or whatever the fuck. Okay.